Imagine if you were paid to try something, and every time you failed, you would get a reward. And in this case, let's say you were to pick something that you genuinely enjoy or something that you find challenging. And let's say every time you failed to accomplish your goal, whether it be building a website, starting your business, fixing your credit, or starting a new hobby, quitting your job, starting a new job, traveling somewhere, getting into a new relationship or an old one, you were paid money every time you failed. How hard would you try? Because in the process of trying anything, now keep in mind this is a channel where we repair credit, but it doesn't really matter about removing items off your credit. If you cannot fix your own behaviors, it doesn't really matter if we were to erase the mistakes off your credit reports. What we can't do is erase the failures you had in your life and the lack of transparency and the disappointments you've led to other people. And so we are a channel about repairing credit and sharing with you the things that we accomplish for many clients. If you want any information about that, the information's there, but I don't think you just go to channel just to collect information and not do anything with it, right? And so the importance of gathering information would be to understand why you're gathering that information, for you to make a conscious decision of whether you want to join a program or not, and whether it's going to help you. So the best thing for you to do is to reach out to our customer base or look at the client testimonials, because maybe there's some problem or some scenario that you are in as well, right? Maybe you had some type of collection. Maybe you had a bankruptcy. Maybe you disputed it. Maybe items came back as verified. Maybe this, maybe that. So most likely there'll be a customer that has been through same or similar situations you have. So we're in the business of erasing mistakes, intentional or not. But one thing we can't do is erase your habits of making those mistakes in the first place. Imagine if there was, it's like a friend, okay? Credit is to be credible, is to be trustworthy. That's the definition of credit. Credit is to extend the benefit of the doubt to you in return for you reciprocating that same level of credit, just following your word, keeping your promises. It all boils down to your psychology as a human and your judgment calls. Now, there's going to be situations in life where you fail, and those that try to do great things in life, they will fail. But you're only a real failure if you give up. And so let's say I were to pay you to take on a new task or join a new hobby or something like that. Pick anything you want. And every time you failed, I paid you money. But the moment you give up, you lose all the money I give you. Would you do it? And what would you do if you were to do that? Okay? This is important because if you want to repair your credit or you messed it up, you failed at some point, but you're only a failure until you stop trying to correct it. And then when you do correct it, let's say you hired us to do it or hired some company or did it yourself. What are you going to do after that? Are you going to make the same mistakes again and be in the same predicament again? It happens. You'll be surprised if you don't already know this, but it's all based upon human psychology, borrowing behaviors. The FICO algorithm was originated by the Hamiltonian credit system way back. It was an instrument of measurements by Alexander Hamilton to basically determine the likelihood of a person defaulting or profiting, right? And it's a system. There's a link in the description below. I'll leave it there. And so it's important, and it's all based upon human psychology, right? So you could erase these remarks on your reports, but one thing that you need to really focus on is not just erase your past, because you cannot erase your past, but what you can do is erase your habits that will take you back to the past. And so that's why we have a mentorship program, is because through the mentorship program, we provide strategies to our clients, ongoing strategies to increase their credit. Because we could just be a business like Lexington Law where we just remove items and then, shake your hand, bye-bye, see ya, and charge you money every month. But that's to no value of anyone, right? Because the real underlying issue is the person's decision making or lack of knowledge. And it doesn't always mean that they're at fault in the sense that they are deliberately defrauding and lying and deceiving people. There's people that genuinely don't understand how credit works and genuinely don't understand how credit cards work. And you must understand, you can't be naive and think the bank is your best friend. It is your best friend, but it could be your worst enemy if you do not understand the tools that they provide you. Now, just like any workshop, a mechanic workshop, if you do not know what you're doing, the same tools that you would use to build a rocket could blow up in your face, right? The same tools that people use to create machines, automobiles. That's why in the construction zone there's a hard hat, because the same tools they use to build these high, massively humongous, colossal buildings in New York City, they could topple on top of their head. Sticks, rocks, bricks, metal bars, PVC pipes, drills, hammers can fall on their head because that's human nature. So it's all about reducing risk. There is no 100% guarantee in anything in life, but what there is the probability and the unlikelihood of something happen. So what you need to do as an individual, and this is what banks do, as we know, banks were not 100% right about you. Well, maybe they were. If you have a $500 Capital One card and the limit has increased, or Discover, or this or that, you have a $1,500 limit and they've nipped it, or it keeps on, just stays there and it hasn't increased. Well, maybe they are right about you. They don't want to extend any credit. And you could blame them, but blaming anyone is not going to fix your issues. Let's say you hired a company to repair it and the outcome wasn't to what you really wanted. Well, that's your fault because you chose the wrong company and you did not clearly pick the company that could do what you really want. Now, I know what everybody wants. Everybody wants their credit cleaned yesterday. But the likelihood of you hiring any company out there and it getting removed like that overnight is not likely. Now you might say, why do people always use extremes? Because when they use extremes, when I could give you an extreme unlikely situation, I can keep safe. And you have to really be intellectual about this to see who's fake online, because fakes are going to give you extremes. They're going to give you extremes so you could fit in the middle and they could be safe, right? I would say this: our company would get you results in 2 weeks. I'd say that's a safe bet. Okay, that's a pretty safe bet. A month is a definite safe bet for our clients, generally for the most people. So that's how and that's basically what happens. We don't tell you what will happen because we can't predict the future, but we can take the past of many clients and form an average and then give you a safe number to manage your expectations. That's why we give you a window of 1 to 3 months in our product and service. Other companies, they're not going to be confident in telling you a window, and if they are, they're lying to you. they're not going to charge you a lot of money because all business is based upon psychology. How can I get someone to pay me money? That's what every business owner thinks about. And I'm telling you, I'm a business owner too. But something that I have understood here is sales, the buyer and the seller. All right? And I think I have done something pretty remarkable because in my business, people are continually donating me money and bonuses, and we don't even ask. Notice I've never called you. Have I called you? If you're my current customer, have I ever called you? I have not. You willingly gave me your money, and you're happy. And you may not get your negative items deleted overnight. I use that extreme example, but you did get results. I guarantee it. It's in the contract. Now here's the thing. Let's say things don't end up because this happened before. It happens all the time. Because I told you, everybody wants their credit cleaned yesterday. So let's say I wasn't able to clean it yesterday because you guys didn't call me the day before. Didn't sign up. That's your fault. Let's say I couldn't clean it yesterday or like in a week. Well, guess what? At least you will be given a reason why, and it's not a BS reason, because I'm a man of reason, and everything in this business is completely logical, with the exception of other things that we may not truly 100% understand, but we get a good idea. And what I mean by this is how the bureaus respond and how they act. And there were times, like what a lot of credit repair people are not doing, they're not telling you the toughest files they've worked on. I want to remind you that we are a company that takes on the most difficult files. We've made our brand by taking on files that no other company could repair. And people are still searching because they know something inside of them. They know something is wrong. They just can feel it inside. That company that they worked with before just wasn't, And then people study and they believe that there are violations on their reports, but they don't have the time to do it. And, that goes with saying that there's a lot of people on YouTube that make their business by selling education courses, right? And that they do that because it puts them in a safe position of no pressure. Because I could easily sell you a course on how to repair credit. I can make an ebook. I can do it right now. I can give you all the details. I can give you some level of support. But it would be more safe for me to sell you letters like the Awesome Life Group, their channel, and Credit Coach Q, whatever. These people are the fakes. They're fakes. And the reason why I say that is because they're selling you a false bag of goods, and they're playing it safe because it's profitable and it keeps them in business. And so if that's what you want, to be sold a piece of material that is going to show you how to dispute in a fashion that is archaic and outdated, you will get some results. Well, you may get some results in a period of time, but who's to say when that will happen? But it's neither fair to say or me to show you what will happen some of the time versus what will happen all of the time. And so you will find that these people that are selling these courses, that are selling these products, they're not getting bad reviews because the people are not being charged that much, and they confuse customer service with actual customer results. It's like the nice person at the hotel that made a mistake that you checked in. They made a mistake. You're like, I'm not going to leave a bad review. I don't want to. Because people are good people. They don't want to leave bad reviews. Most people are good people. There's some people that are just nasty, right? And they'll leave a bad review. They're looking for a reason to give you a bad review. They're like the police. The police are looking for every reason they can have to pull someone over and violate their rights. right? Just like the bureaus, and the banks. The banks are looking for every single opportunity they can to make money off of you. And if you're new to the game, or if you're not even well, talk about the things that we do, and then it's shortly followed by action. Okay? So let me at least arm you with that. Either you're going to sign up right now, or tomorrow, or maybe you're not. But at least make a decision. What are you going to do? And if you sign up and we repair your credit, you're either going to make the same mistakes you made before, whether it be whatever. There's so many reasons, there's so many outs that you could fall into another mistake. Don't be too arrogant. Don't be too sure of yourself. There are people that did everything right, but they got into an accident. Hurricane Katrina, a tsunami, a death of a family member. There are too many things in life for you to be overly confident.